Welcome Year 7 and well done on finding this video. This video is designed to help you with your home learning. It's the first of a series of videos that we're making for you. You found this video today on the website. In future we're going to be putting these videos on something called Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is a piece of software you can find on the internet. It's easy to find, it's easy to use, and to log into it use your normal school username and password. Don't worry though, we'll still be using MyMaths to set most of your work, and you can find messages from your teachers there. It's just that using Microsoft Teams allows us to share other resources with you, like this PowerPoint and videos. For the rest of this video, we're going to be looking at solving equations. We're going to start off with some nice easy equations and gradually work our way up the difficulty scale. So let's have a look at this equation here. X add 11 equals 35. So what's it all about? Well, we've simply got a little puzzle to solve. We've got a sum, something add 11 equals 35, and we've got to figure out what the missing number is and the sum is. Okay, in other words, what you add onto 11 to get to 35. Now, we want a nice mathematical approach to this, which is going to work with this equation and all equations. And I call this method the method of opposites. So let's read the equation again. X plus 11 equals 35. And ask ourselves, what's the opposite of plus 11? Well, let's take away 11. So what I'm going to do is take away 11 from my equation. I'm going to take away 11 from this side of the equation. I'm going to take away 11 from this side as well. Why am I taking it away from both sides? To keep things nice and balanced. So let's see what happens now I've taken away 11. First of all, I've taken this 11 away. It's gone. It's disappeared. So all I've got left is the x. In the middle, I've got my equal sign. On the other side, I've got 35. Take away 11, and that, of course, is 24. So the answer to my equation is that x equals 24. Quick check shows us 24 at 11 does make 35. It must be true. Here's another simple equation. Let's read it. X take away 7 equals 18. So I ask myself, what's the opposite of taking away 7? Of course, it's adding 7. So I'm going to add 7 to this side of the equation. And I'm going to add 7 to this side of the equation as well. Let's see what happens. Well, when I add 7 and I take away 7, it disappears, gone. So all I've got left over here is x. Got my equal sign in the middle. When I add 7 to the 18, I've got 25. So the answer to my equation is that x equals 25. Now this equation is a little more unusual looking because there's no add or take away. So what's going on here? Well, in algebra, if there's no sign in between letters and numbers, we know that it's a multiplication, it's a times. So you can kind of imagine a kind of a invisible little times sign in between the 3 and the x here. 3 times x. So now we know what the sum is. It's a 3 times x thing. We ask ourselves, what's the opposite of timesing by 3? Well, the opposite of timesing is dividing. So we will be dividing by 3. Of course, like before, we do it to both sides of the equation. Divide by 3. What happens then? Well, times 3 divided by 3 cancels out. I've just got my x. Over here, I've got to work out 27 divided by 3, and that gives me 9. Now, this is a two-step equation. It's getting more complicated now. It's the sort of thing you can't do in your head. You've got to start using this algebra approach that we're using today. Let's read it through. 2 times x plus 4 equals 26. Now, we talk about doing things in the opposite way, but we also do things in the opposite order. So I'll read that again. 2 times x plus 4. I can do the opposite things in the opposite order. So first of all, instead of plus 4, I'm going to have take away 4. Okay, so let's see what happens then. Well, 2x plus 4 take away 4, that just leaves me with the 2 and the x. And that equals 26 take 4 is 20. 2. Next, what do? Well, we said about the opposite things in the opposite order. We've taken away the 4. Now the opposite of a times 2 is a divide 2. So I'm going to divide by 2. What's that leave us with? Well, 2x divided by 2, that leaves me with the x, that's what I want. Got the equals in the middle. 22 divided by 2 gives me 11. There's my answer. X equals 11. I've solved a difficult 2-step equation. Now, another 2-stepper here. Bigger numbers, slightly more tricky. Let's read it through. 4x, that's 4 times x. Take away 7 equals 15. Remember, opposite things, opposite order. I'm going to be adding the 7 and then dividing the 4. So let's do that. Add the 7. I get 4x equals 22. And then divide by the 4. Tricky sum this. 4 doesn't really go into 22, not easily anyway. I'm going to get x equals 22 divided by 4. You can check on the calculator. It actually equals 5.5. 5.5. Okay, finally, this equation is another 2-step one, but it kind of catches out. It's been written in a funny order. So instead of having all the x on the left-hand side, it's now on the right. This makes no difference at all. We still solve it in the same way. So here we go. 10x plus 3 is equal to my 83. So I'm timesing by 10, I'm adding on 3, I'm doing the opposite. Opposite things, opposite order. I'm going to take away 3. And that leaves me with, on this side, a nice round 80. I've taken away the 3, so all I've got left over here is the 10x. Okay, and thank you today for being patient with my writing. It's not easy using these new style pen skills. Okay, next I'm going to get rid of the 10. I'm going to divide by 10. So that leaves me with 80 divided by 10 is 8. 8 equals x. Now it doesn't matter whether it says 8 equals x, x equals 8, it's all the same thing. That's the answer, 8.